Welcome to the Effective Engineering Manager podcast.
It's good to be here, Adam. So it's your time today. What would you like to talk about?
Hey Slava, great to be here as well. Today we're going to start a new series on a very important topic for engineering managers, and that's building teams. And we're going to cover a wide range of techniques for how to build teams and what it really means. What has been some of your experience in building teams over the years?
So, I think, and I do believe that this is one of the most important activities that every manager does as a manager. And myself have built a few teams, and I've been doing it for quite some time, for more than 10 years. And I'm wondering, what are your thoughts? What are the most important things that managers should be doing when they're building teams?
Yeah, I know you and I have discussed this quite a bit because it's a passionate topic for both of us. And I think some of the things I think we came up with are, number one, needs to be a vision. The manager, leader of the team, needs to have his or her own vision for the team, something that the team feels they can get behind. It's not a corporate vision. It's not just top-down management. It's a specific vision for that team, for their purpose. Also, there needs to be diversity, not just social diversity or personal diversity. There needs to be engineering diversity as well. And what that means is you want to have a complementary set of strengths that the team can leverage, not just one common set of skills that everybody is trying to excel at the same time, right? So you do not want all-star teams, and we'll get into that. There needs to be a form of recognition. I think two things: recognition and opportunity. So people need to feel like they're being recognized for their work. Certainly there has to be recognition in terms of kudos and awards, but just the general practice of recognizing folks for a job well done generally goes a long way. And that has to be tied to opportunities. Folks want to feel like that there is something to grow within the organization, within the team, and that they can keep striving for more, and that is available to them. Next, the human connection. And we're going to get into this in a bit as well. There has to be a very natural and organic human connection and collaboration amongst the folks on the team. And that can be camaraderie, that can be one-on-ones, that can be just a general sense of comfort and enjoyment amongst the folks on the team. You're working with these folks. We don't want people just sitting in front of their laptop all day and, not really being able to engage or get the benefit of working with others. There has to be dedication and commitment to the project and the ability to influence, right? So with commitment comes this motivation to have the ability to influence, whether it's delivering great features and solutions to customers or improving processes, building the company, something that they feel that, gives them a reason to be there in the first place. So I think those are some of the key things that we feel are key to building teams. Certainly you can keep going on and on with a list, but I think those are some of the key things that we'll touch on. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a very good, I would even say, comprehensive list. And if our listeners were doing all of those things, they would have had amazing teams. And I think it's great. And how about we start with the lighter topic of building teams with human connections and maybe some techniques to achieve this. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a great topic to start with because I think ultimately that's a great place for any leader to start. And in engineering world, I think we often deprioritize that because I think we get so mired in the work, we get mired in tasks, we kind of assume people to coordinate, but the human connection oftentimes gets lost or doesn't get maximized. And for me, I think awareness comes into the picture too. When you're building human connection, you want it to be genuine. You want to, you don't want to just go into any team and say, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. No, you have to look at the team. You have to gauge them. And I have a really interesting little story that leads to what we're going to talk about today. With one of the first teams I was building early on in my career, we had a good collaboration. We were an agile team. You could tell the folks on the team were really committed. A lot of the things we talked about were there. There was diversity. But there was clearly a boundary of discomfort, right? People didn't feel like, you could tell like people wanting to ask other folks in the team to maybe go for lunch sometimes or different things. It just felt like a little bit awkward, and I think it didn't happen much. And then one day, and this is sort of by luck, came to someone on the team that I found out it was someone's birthday on the team. And I just kind of randomly, there's a bakery. There used to be a bakery right outside our office or right down the road. And said, what if we just get a cake today and, celebrate this person's birthday, something small, just to kind of lighten the mood, to shake things up a little bit, just to create that air of something different. And so I did that. We got the cake, and I got the whole team together and said, look, we're going to do a little birthday get together for so-and-so at, 1:00 today. Just come to the main room and, we'll do it. And everybody loved it. I mean, they just got into it. They were excited that they were, we were going to celebrate someone's birthday. There was cake. There was, it was just kind of like breaking down the normal context for people. And certainly the person who it was their birthday really enjoyed it. And it was a great thing. But the greatest thing that happened came after that. And folks on the team started to continue that same practice over time, over the next few months. And it was a combination of a bunch of things. One was people felt more comfortable talking to each other and, talking about life and everything and going to lunch. And then because of that, they became more aware, it's so-and-so's birthday, or they're doing this. And, people would say, it's so-and-so's birthday this week. Should we get a cake? I constantly have people coming to me and say, can we just, like, sure, let's do it, and everybody pitched in. It just became this very organic celebration. And, you think about it, you got 10 people on the team. There's a good chance there's going to be, almost every month of the year, you're going to have some kind of a birthday celebration, which was kind of what happened. And we just started doing it. And we actually created a calendar for people's birthdays. And I helped to foster that as much as I can, by making people feel like it was okay to do it, that it was a great thing. We're going to celebrate, But that was the greatest thing that happened, was it broke down a barrier that was there, that was just waiting to be broken, and a little thing like that. And the reason why it was so successful was because, number one, it gave people an opportunity to celebrate something, right? That was not just work related. It was that human connection. And number two, for the person whose birthday it was a very personal, celebration and appreciation. I mean, if you think about it, we talked about this. How many people actually know your birthday other than a spouse, significant other, or close family? Not many people really know your birthday, right? Or, celebrate it. Maybe you have a couple close friends, wish you a happy birthday, stuff like that. But not many people have that. And so to be able to bring that into the workplace is huge. It's a big thing. It's more than just having, a team outing or lunch from time to time, which is certainly very important. But it's a different dynamic, and it's a very appropriate but significant way to build this human connection. Something that I just stumbled across and allowed to happen. And then I was lucky because the group that I had at the time really just loved it. I mean, nobody questioned, it's, $10 for someone's birthday cake or $12 or whatever. People got into it. People, we wanted to diversify it. What types of cake are you going to get, and all this kind of stuff. And we lucked out because, we just had that bakery there, and it was just it all kind of worked out, right? It may not work the same way for everyone else. Don't try to necessarily mimic it the same way, but it was a really specific thing that happened at that time that made a big impact, and the human connection quotient that came out of that was very large. What are your thoughts on that? Anything similar that you come across or?
Yes, I absolutely agree. Birthdays may be the easiest thing that any manager can do, right? It's just so easy. All they have to do is just to get those dates, put them in their own calendar. It doesn't have to be team calendar, just their own manager's calendar. Maybe the actual date of the birthday, and then maybe 2 or 3 days ahead of time, so that they can prepare the team. Maybe get some money together, or do some minimal planning with the team how to make it fun. Absolutely, it's like the easiest and the very easy and the very powerful thing to do.
And another benefit out of this positive benefit, we actually also started inviting some folks from other teams, people that we work with. Maybe it was QA, maybe it was, just other engineering teams that were nearby, and you're, you're kind of like spreading the love. I mean, you're breaking down those barriers that are just there and creating an environment where people can see each other in a different context, and I mean, the value of somebody else from another team coming over to your office and say, "Oh, hey, Slava, happy birthday. Hope you have a good one." I mean, that's big, right? That's, and other teams start to appreciate that. My boss at the time noticed that, and, certainly she took notice of that and really was intrigued by it. So it's something that can easily spread. Like you said, it's so easy, and certainly something that you can do. And, I think the only caution is just be cognizant of the folks that you have on the team. Some people may be a little bit more uncomfortable sharing personal information. So it shouldn't be compensatory. It shouldn't be something so formal. Some people feel like if they share their birthday, they got to share their age and, all this kind of stuff. And so you just got to be careful with that. But you don't have to launch it as a very formal thing. Like I said, start it as one small thing, and with some folks that would be, would appreciate it, and then see where it goes from there. And I think the only thing you want to do is keep track of birthdays on a calendar. You don't want to forget somebody, right? You don't want it to be so loose that someone gets left out just because they may be more quiet or they don't participate often. Actually, we actually had somebody on the team who didn't want to share his birthday, and it was just a game to guess the date, and we ended up just picking a date and say, "Hey, today's your birthday."
Nice.
To do that. So little things like that become part of the thing. So.
Yeah, this is a good point, and you did touch upon something which I think it's worth spending maybe a few seconds to talk about. Is I did see and did experience maybe twice in my career when I had direct reports who did not want to do it. They were great guys, great members of the team, but when it came to having a team celebration of their birthday, they were just not into this at all, right? So it's sort of, I would say, worth asking, hey, you know what, we want to build this, make celebrating each other's birthday thing. Are you okay having your birthday celebrated to the team? Right, and if they say no, then just take it off the table, and that's fine. But there should not be pressure there. And yes, so one thing I think before we were chatting before starting this podcast today, and another technique for maintaining the human connection in the team is team lunches, and maybe it's a bit less powerful than birthdays, right? Because maybe the excitement is not as much as with birthdays, but I think it's still a worthy activity. So, what are your thoughts? What is the best way to approach them? How often? What to do?
Yeah, I actually think I think it is powerful. I think it's different than the birthday celebration, but I don't think it's any less impactful. lunches are important, or dinners or whatever, important for two reasons. I mean, just very simply. One, it gets people out of the context. It shows that, again, developing an opportunity outside of office hours to do have a human connection. And number two, it really shows to individuals on the team that the company really cares about them, right? When you're a manager, one thing to always recognize is you're always wearing that company hat wherever you go with your team. And people will associate your behavior with company behavior, right? Not always the other way around, meaning people will see what the company does and doesn't necessarily link it to you. But when you as a manager are doing things, they are associating that as a representation of the company. And so, especially for new folks on the team or people right out of college, they want to find they can belong to something. And oftentimes things like team lunches, happy hours, dinners are an opportunity for folks to really unlock their personality and feel like the company is relating to them personally, right? It's, you've gotten an offer letter, you've got all this formal stuff, right? You've joined a team, you have tasks, you're all, there's more to the job than just that, right? It's the same reason why companies do like holiday parties or offsites, because it creates this environment where the company seemingly cares about you as an individual, and there's this interchange of appreciation. So as far as frequency, I think it's up to the team. I've had teams where they would do happy hours maybe once a month, maybe sometimes. Actually, I know one team that used to do it every Friday, just whoever came. Team lunches, I would say, definitely do it once a month, once a quarter. Find something to celebrate. I think that's important, right? I think kind of give a little bit of context. Say, hey, we just killed it on this project. Let's go have lunch. Certainly, it'll help justify the budget if you're going to expense it, which you should. I don't know what your thoughts on that, but I don't think as best as possible. If you're gonna take your team to lunch, the company better be footing the bill, not individuals.
Yes, and I totally agree that if whenever possible, we should just do it on the company's dime. And like you just said, it shows that the company cares, and that's one of the most important things. And I agree on monthly that it's a decent cadence. Weekly, I've tried it in myself, and it sort of lasts for a few months, but then team gets tired. So in that sense, I think monthly meeting outing is a great thing. Cool. Well, this sounds great. So we did talk about a couple of things that we can do to maintain human connection. Maybe you could give us a quick checklist, what to do and how to do it.
Sure. So in this first part of this Building Team series, we covered a human connection. And there are myriad ways to do that, but two techniques that we covered. Number one is birthday celebration. One, find out the birthday, not necessarily the year, but the day of the year of every person's birthday on your team, and create an environment for people to help celebrate that. It can be a cake, it can be something else, but something that allows you to appreciate every person individually on their special day, and keep it a surprise. Create a separate Slack channel for just the folks that are, it's not their birthday that day, to contribute. Figure out who's coordinating, getting the cake, all that kind of stuff, or whatever you're going to do. And, and just keep it, make sure there's keep it equal across, right? So every person gets basically the same treatment, including the boss. And then we talked about team lunches, to have them, once a month, and make sure you tie it to some kind of milestone or appreciation. And then when you're at the lunch, really, allow the folks to kind of just be comfortable and talk about their lives, and, bring some discussion topics, and allow people just to get out of their normal environment. And you'll see over time that human connection will get stronger. So that's a little bit about human connection and building teams.
Well, Adam, this is good stuff.
Absolutely, Slava. And more great stuff is coming in the rest of our series. Hope folks can start using this tomorrow.